What is up, fight fans? Welcome back to another KJ MMA show. UFC Fight Night Paris goes down this Saturday. And as always, I have Garrett Kerman on to break it all down. Let's start right from the top, Garrett. Two things that I am very positive about for this main event between Ciryl Gane and Tai Tuivasa. Let's just say that, okay, so Gane's a huge favorite. Minus 520 is a favorite. Tuivasa plus 410 dog. I am very certain that Ciryl Gane is going to win this fight. I don't know if it's going to happen via unanimous decision or if he's going to get him out of there. Tai Tuivasa is extremely tough, so I'm leaning towards Cyril's going to win a decision. And then the other thing I'm positive about is that Tai Tuivasa, win or lose, is going to drink a shoey with the fans in Paris afterwards. I think the over-under on that has got to be pretty significant.
Oh, absolutely. I'm looking forward to this fight. You know, Ciryl Gane is a masterclass on the feet, great kickboxer, uses his range, arguably better than anybody in the heavyweight division. He's got an 83-inch reach, which is insane for someone, of that size. I mean, 6'4", 6'5", and he poses a lot of threats that, Tuivasa really hasn't had to deal with his entire career. I mean, he hasn't faced a very skilled kickboxer that has the range and the distance management that Gane has. So it's going to be really tough for him to be able to get in close and land his heavy shots where, it could just take one punch, but we've seen Gane go in there and pretty much outstrike Ngannou, who arguably has the hardest strikes in the entire division. So I kind of think he's going to, kind of run circles around Tuivasa in this matchup. It's hard to predict whether he's going to get a knockout or not. Granted, Tuivasa's never gone 25 minutes. He's probably going to slow down a lot as the fight goes on. So if I do see a knockout, it's probably going to be later in the fight. That's where I kind of like the over 1.5 rounds, which is around minus 200. I don't see it being finished in 7.5 minutes. I can't see that happening. Even the over 2.5 rounds at minus 130 to minus 125 isn't that bad either. I feel like if he does get a finish, it's going to be anywhere between rounds 3, 4, and 5, preferably probably 4 and 5 as Tuivasa starts to fade, starts to get tired, throwing everything to his punches. So yeah, I got Gane pretty much, doing what he does best, just staying on the outside and just picking him apart.
Yeah, totally agree. I would be shocked if Tai Tuivasa wins this fight. All due respect to him because he's on a nice streak and I do love watching him compete, but nightmare matchup. That's why the odds are so spread apart here. The co-main event, the former champion Robert Whittaker and Marvin Vettori. Robert Whittaker is a minus 210 favorite, Vettori a plus 180 dog. You know me, Garrett, and Robert Whittaker is one of my top 5 all-time favorite fighters. I love the guy. If it wasn't for Israel Adesanya, Robert Whittaker would still be the champion of this division. And you can make a case in that second fight that Robert Whittaker could have won it. So I don't feel like Robert Whittaker is slowing down at all. He beats everyone minus Israel Adesanya, and I don't see anything different happening here. I honestly feel like, if this was a 5-round fight, I think Robert Whittaker would get Marvin Vettori out of there. I think he'd finish him, but I want to give a little bit of respect to Vettori. I think he'll probably push him and maybe get it to a decision, but give me Robert Whittaker all day here.
The line is actually pretty good for minus 210, considering I think he should be anywhere from minus 325 to minus 350 of a favorite. He checks all the boxes against Vettori. He's better than him in striking, better than him in wrestling, better than him in jiu-jitsu. He's faster. He throws better combinations. He throws more volume. Literally checks every single box. The only thing that I see Vettori being a little bit better is he's going to be the aggressor. He's good at bullying his opponents to the fence and controlling them on the fence. He's very strong, and he's super tough and super durable. But I don't think that's enough to beat somebody of Robert Whittaker's stature. He's just going to be too fast, too elusive. He's going to be throwing more than Vettori. He's going to be landing more than Vettori. I don't think Vettori's going to take him down. I don't think Vettori's going to have any success in the grappling. So give me Whittaker all day in this matchup. He's arguably one of my favorite bets on the card, especially at minus 210. I think that's a steal of a price.
Yeah, and Whittaker is a great counter striker too, right? So if Vettori wants to be the bully here and press forward, good luck with that, man. That actually makes me feel like Whittaker could potentially get a finish because Adesanya is so calculated in there. He's a counter striker. He's not hunting you down, and that gave Whittaker problems. I feel like this style matchup actually might be tailor-made for Whittaker to get back in the finishing column and have another impressive victory here against the top level middleweight. Maybe get that third crack at Izzy at some point. I'd like to see. I don't know what everybody else thinks, but I'm a big Robert Whittaker fan, so I'm a little biased here. Let's move to Roman Kopylov and Alessio De Chirico. the Chirico minus 110 favorite. Kovalev is a minus 110 favorite as well. So it's a pick 'em fight. How do you like this one, Garrett?
I'm not understanding why this fight's on the main card, considering I think both these guys are combined 0-5 or 0-6 in their last like 6 fights, which is absurd. I don't think either of them are exceptionally high level. The only thing I can go with is I think Kovalev, he's got a little bit more of an advantage because he's younger of the two, he's fresher of the two, he's got decent takedown defense. But man, this fight is a crapshoot. It's a pick him for a reason. But if I had to choose, I would just take Kovalev just based off he's a younger fighter, he's a fresher fighter. I think he's going to have the better cardio, the better takedown defense, and just maybe be the busier fighter. But ultimately, I want absolutely nothing to do with this fight.
A fight that I'm actually really excited about. I feel like it could sneaky be maybe fight of the night is John Makdessi and Nazareth Hasparast. Nazareth is a minus 230 favorite, Makdessi plus 195 dog. Man, I keep going back and forth on this one because both of them very well-rounded skill sets, and I just don't know where I'm going with Hasparast being the big favorite. Maybe I want to lean that way, but I still don't know because Makdessi is one of those dogs, man. You're like, he doesn't just go away. He's going to stay in the fight. Do you like this from an underdog aspect with Makdessi, or do you feel like Nazareth should just win this one?
I'm pretty confident in Nazareth getting the job done. Makdessi is 37 years old. He hasn't faced the elite competition like Nazareth has. I mean, his last 2 fights, Nazareth, yeah, he lost, but he was able to hang in there, go 30 minutes with Dan Hooker and Bobby Green. Those are elite competition in the division. Makdessi, yeah, he's 4-1 in his last 5, but hasn't even faced anybody even in the top 15 in the division. Nazareth, a lot younger, a lot faster, a lot more powerful, and I think Makdessi's definitely going to slow down from the pace and the pressure that Nazareth's going to put on him. What Nazareth isn't good against is guys pressuring him being on the back foot, which is kind of what Bobby Green did and is what Dan Hooker did as well. They were the ones that were coming forward. They were the ones that were throwing a ton of volume, where Makdessi is going to have to be the one that's going to be on his bike the entire time, throwing kicks, trying to keep his jab and stay at range. But Nazareth has a really good jab in his own right, and he's going to stick that out there. And if John Makdessi can't get his jab going and being able to keep at distance, I think Nazareth's going to be able to land at will, possibly get him out of there or win a unanimous decision.
All right, well, let's move down a weight class to featherweight. William Gomez is taking on Jarno Aarons, and both of these guys have stellar records, but Gomez is the significant favorite here, minus 215 favorite, Jarno plus 185 dog. How do you see this one going?
It's a tough one because both these guys are kind of taking on short notice. They were the last minute replacement fell in for this fight card as I think another fight kind of fallen off. Numerous fights fell off this card, which is kind of why they added them there. But from what I've seen, I think Gomez is more well-rounded than Aarons. I think he's definitely the more powerful fighter, powerful striker. I think he's got the better takedown artist, and he's got some pretty nasty ground and pound. So ultimately, I think it's going to be a close fight early on, but I think Gomez definitely pulls away late, possibly gets him out of there in round 2 or 3.
This next fight is actually one that I have circled for another potential fight of the night. Charles Jourdain, Nathaniel Wood. Nathaniel Wood is a plus 130 dog. Jourdain, a minus 150 favorite. And what's interesting is a good buddy of mine texted me earlier today, and he was asking me how I saw this fight going because he's like, Wood is such a good wrestler, but Jourdain should have the power advantage. And then I started thinking about it, what Nathaniel Wood did to Charles Rosa in his last fight. And I was like, my God, he just looked like an evolved fighter. And if we see that Nathaniel Wood here against Charles Jourdain, I don't know. It's going to be hard to go against him. Is this the odds right for this one? Or do you feel like maybe Wood should be the favorite?
I think we're getting some value on Wood here as an underdog. I think it should be a pick'em fight. I think Wood showed that 145 pounds is his division now. Going in there and dispatching Charles Rosa the way he did, absolutely dominating him in every facet of the fight. Granted, I know Charles Rosa isn't Charles Jourdain, but Wood poses threats that could match against Jourdain. He's definitely the faster of the two. He's definitely going to be able to throw more volume than Jourdain. I think the calf kicks of Wood is going to play vital in this fight. And obviously, he's the much better grappler between the two. Jourdain has shown that he can get taken down. He can get his back taken. He can get stuck on the mat. I think Wood can mix it up better than Jourdain can. Jourdain definitely has the punching power, and he's got more versatility, and he's obviously the bigger of the two. But at the end of the day, I think Wood's the more complete fighter. He's progressed a ton during the time off that he's had. And he built up to his frame at 145 pounds. Granted, he's not super tall, but he's built, he's super strong. He's got the cardio, he's durable, and I think he's a real deal at 145 pounds.
Yeah, I like the dog money here. I'm going with Nathaniel Wood. Let's go to 185. Abu Sapayan, Magomedov, and Dustin Stoltzfus. Stoltzfus is the underdog here, plus 225. Magomedov minus 265 favorite. And I was actually listening to another show recently, and the expert there was saying that, he feels like Stoltzfus is going to go in there and win this one. So is this another fight where you could win some money on a dog, or you're shaking your head no? So you disagree?
No, this is not the matchup that Stoltzfus wins. If we've seen who Stoltzfus tends to lose to, he loses to guys that are better wrestlers than him. Sure as shit, Magomedov is much better in wrestling and grappling than Stoltzfus is. He's shown that he can get out grappled by, Jeremy Mearshart and Rodolfo Vieira and everyone else before that. It's only when Stoltzfus has the wrestling, the grappling advantage himself is when he wins fights. This is not that type of fight. That's why I took him over Dwight Graham, because I knew that he has such a massive advantage in the grappling. Whereas this fight, Magomedov arguably has the advantage on the feet and in the grappling and on the mat. So I don't expect Magomedov to lose this fight. I think he gets in there, wins rather easily. He probably gets him out of there inside 2 rounds and shows that he's a force to be reckoned with in the division. And Stoltzfus probably gets his walking favors after this.
Ooh, okay. All right. Let's move to lightweight. Perez Ziam, Mikel Figlock. Mikel is a minus 200 favorite. Perez Ziam plus 170 dog. Any dog money here, Garrett, or are you going with the favorite?
No, I love to fade Fares Ziam. I'm not a big fan of his. I don't think he's UFC level at all. I think he's lost every single one of his fights in the UFC. He's got favorable decision wins, numerous of them. Jamie Mullarkey comes to mind. There's no way he should have won that fight. He could even lost the other fight that he won too. But Figlock, he should be the one that's going to be coming forward. He's going to be aggressive. He's going to be throwing more heavy shots, definitely more volume and and more combinations, because Ziam is a counter striker, like stay on the outside. He's tall, long, rangy, doesn't throw a ton of volume. He's a subpar grappler as well. I think Figlock has definitely got him pretty much beaten everywhere. He could take him down. He could beat him up there. He can beat him up on the feet, just coming forward, throwing more, staying busy, staying in his face. So I'm going with Figlock going in there. He's an 8-0 prospect. He fought over in Cage Warrior, so he's faced decent competition in the UK. I think he gets it done here. I think it's a good matchup for him, and he should get the win.
All right, back to 185. The man with the most signature knockout in MMA history, Joaquin Buckley, is back in action, and he's a big underdog, plus 215 against Nasruddin Imavov, minus 255 favorite. And look, I think Nasruddin deserves to probably be the favorite here. He's a veteran. He's very well rounded, and I think stylistically this might be a little difficult for Buckley. Do you agree with me?
I think so, but at that given price point of over plus 200, I would kind of take a shot on Buckley, just like people took a shot on him over Jarrell. Buckley has the grappling advantage in this fight. I think he's got the power advantage in this fight as well, and he's just been improving fight to fight. I know Imavov has looked great. Don't get me wrong. He's looked great in his last 2 fights. He's taken out Edmund Shabazian, took out Ian Heinisch. Those are 2 very good wins. I just think Buckley, he's super tough, super durable, other than, that one blip that he's had, and, 2 of them actually, but one of them was on short notice against Kevin Holland. But I just think Buckley, he's just been getting better. I think it's going to be a dogfight. I think it's going to be extremely close. I don't expect Imavov to run through him, nor do I expect him to look like a minus 275 to my favorite either. So if I were to bet on this fight strictly based on the line, I'd probably have to take a shot on Buckley.
He always has that knockout power. So yeah, Joaquin Buckley with that dog money, he could get another highlight reel knockout and win you a boatload of cash. Let's move back down to lightweight. Gabriel Miranda plus 240 dog against Benoit St. Denis, a minus 285 favorite. I like St. Denis here. I feel like he should cruise to a victory. I think by your head nod, you're with me on this one.
I don't know, man, because he's minus 285, minus 300. I'm not sure when Benoit St. Denis has ever looked like a minus 300 favorite. Maybe in his last fight, but that was against a extremely subpar opposition. Granted, Miranda is not anything to write home about either, but these 2 are mainly grapplers. Denise is definitely going to give Miranda a chance to submit him. Miranda has 15 of his 16 wins have come by submission. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Denise, I think 8 of his 9 wins, I believe, have come by submission as well. So Denise is going to definitely want to take this fight to the mat and try to ground and pound and eventually find the submission, where I do believe Miranda will have ample opportunities to catch him in a sub in some type of scramble, whether it's by guillotine or triangle. I mean, this guy has numerous submissions off of his back, in transitions, on top control. He can sweep. I think Miranda is definitely the best jiu-jitsu practitioner that Denise has fought as well. So I think Miranda's going to have ample opportunities to possibly find a submission. And the thing is, Benoit Saint Denis, he definitely has the advantage on the feet. So I don't think he should take this fight to the mat. We'll see. But I just think he's going to play into the wheelhouse of Miranda, and Miranda snatches a neck and gets a submission win.
All right, to bantamweight we go. Khalid Taha, a minus 120 favorite against Christian Quinones, plus 100 dog. How do you see this one shaking out?
I like Quinones as a dog here. I know I'm dog hunting here on this card, but he's got the volume advantage. He's got the speed advantage. He's super tough, super durable. He's got 19 professional fights at 26 years old, coming into his UFC debut. So, having all of that professional fights under his belt at such a young age, I think it's really going to help him. I think he's won his last 4 fights. He looked good on the Contender Series. Khalid Taha, I don't think he's had a win since 2019. I know one of his wins got overturned due to PEDs, but I think he's 1-4 or 1-3-0-1 in his last 5 fights. He hasn't been looking good. Granted, he's facing tough competition, but I just think as long as Quinones doesn't get knocked out, I think he should be able to just be the busier fighter on the feet and just stay in his face. Taha's got power and he's got okay grappling, but I don't think that's enough to beat Quinones here. I think he gets it done. I think he cashes as an underdog.
All right, and the last fight, which should be the first fight of the evening, is the lone female bout on the card. Stephanie Edgar, minus 250 favorite against Aylin Perez, who's a plus 210 dog. Do you like Edgar in this one, or do you feel like there's some money you can win on the dog and Perez?
I really don't want to bet on Edgar. Edgar at all, considering the shit she pulled in her last fight against Mayra Bueno Silva. But she couldn't ask for an easier fight in her entire life than Aylin Perez. She should essentially just take her down and just beat her up on the mat. And that's all she wrote. In round 1, gonna take a shot on Edgar by submission because it's plus 225, plus 230, and might even take a shot on Edgar by knockout at it's anywhere up to plus 480 at some spots. I think if you just play a little bit on both, you'll come out positive because she's definitely gonna get the win inside the distance. You're getting over 2-1 on submission and over almost 4-1 on by knockout because she's gonna get the win on the mat. I just don't know if she's gonna pound her out via ground and pound or she's gonna win via submission, but ultimately she gets it done.
All right, and that's all 12 fights for UFC Fight Night Paris. Before we do sign off, Garrett, give me a parlay that you like. Take a look at the card and give us a parlay where you can make a little money this Saturday.
Well, I mean, it depends. If your book lets you parlay props, this is what I would like to do. I would like to take Edgar by submission because it's plus 225. All right, on this we're working with DraftKings because I know you can parlay props here. I would like to take Nathaniel Wood by decision at plus 225. And then I would like to take Magomedov to win inside the distance at plus 120. So that 3 prop parlay is plus 2,224.
You can make some serious money if that happens. You know what really stinks about DraftKings is in Maine, you can't bet. You can't bet on the app. So I've been trying to do that myself, and I just realized that, well, it's not where I'm at. I got to travel to Massachusetts to be able to do that. So I think maybe I'm going to do that one of these weekends, just get the heck out of Dodge and go play some bets. But I'm going to call you first so you can help guide me with the right prop bets so I can win a bunch of money.
I got you.
Yeah, thank you, brother. I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. Make sure you subscribe to the Vegas Odds YouTube channel, and we will see you guys back next week for a monster pay-per-view event that we're going to dive into and break down. So for Garrett, I'm Ryan. We'll see you next time.